The circular economy is seen as this futuristic utopian idea. But the problem with utopias is that they don't exist. The more we idealize a solution, the less we understand it. And so today, I'm going to be talking about what circular economies are, how I envision it implemented in my country, and what we can do to get there. My name is Urvashi Balasubramaniam, and this is my submission for the Junior Advisory Board. Economic structure is not set in stone. It has evolved throughout history to reflect our ideals and values as a society. The current economy is linear and capitalistic. You extract, produce, use, and dump, all for the end goal of profit. And it seemed pretty successful for a while. We were able to achieve economic growth and higher standards of living. But a major flaw in this picture-perfect world is that it assumed we can have infinite economic growth from finite resources. And also that we can endlessly dump our waste without any consequences, which hasn't worked out well for us so far. So, what's the alternative? Well, circular economies follow different metrics for success. We replace production rates with product lifespans. And the end goal is now to keep the same resources in the economy for as long as possible until we absolutely have to dispose of them. This system is particularly resilient during crises because these resources remain accessible in this loop no matter what. Materials that can be repeatedly reintroduced into the economy get a preference over those with a limited shelf life. And the great news? We're getting closer to the system than ever. This is the butterfly diagram. It has a technical cycle for non-biodegradable items that are used and a biological cycle for biodegradable items that are consumed. The smallest loops retain the product's integrity the most, and the larger loops wear most of it away. Nature is already cyclical, so we just have to mimic its processes through composting and biogas production. Interestingly, processes like cascading are already very common in India. It's when you take a part of a high-quality product and use it in a low-quality product. For example, used clothes can be used, donated, and then used in cleaning rags or stitched into quilts. The first loop says sharing, but it doesn't mean personal products. Governments can implement sharing through public centers, libraries, bike stand rentals, and even public transport. In India, the metro subway system and partnerships with the private sector are helping create alternatives to the very highly polluting automobile traffic. But economics works on incentives, so how might we incentivize a circular economy? Well, governments can invest in and subsidize companies that support circularity. They can make waste collection and systematic and accessible because it currently relies more on the informal sector and rag pickers more than any formal organization. They can also outlaw or charge for dumping and protect resource extraction sites. That way, the cheapest option for businesses is to continue using the resources that they already have at hand. A lot of these processes are already commonplace, but this hierarchy shows us exactly how to get the most out of a product before we have to dispose of it. The problem, however, is that consumers are expected to carry the burden of all these restorative processes. They have to figure out how and where to repair, recycle, and compost, and everyone else is placing barriers in their way. Recycling rates in India lie at a meager 30%, and companies, through a process called planned obsolescence, are reducing their product lifespans in order to get people to buy more and more. Products are now also being designed harder to take apart and repair. And with no incentive or guidance to consumers to contribute to circularity, the economy will remain linear. The answer could lie in the product as a service model, which treats ownership as a subscription to a product. You could subscribe to your furniture the same way you subscribe to Netflix. By psychologically and legally rethinking ownership, we can allow these products to flow back to the companies that made them and hold them responsible for restoring capital. It is similar to a warranty and care system that the customer regularly pays for. Companies maintain their product's lifespan to boost profitability and consumer loyalty, and customers get low upfront costs, a bit of flexibility in buying, and longer product lifespans. So this system benefits you and the earth. As environmentalists, it's very hard not to point fingers at people, whether it's governments, companies, or even yourself. But it's important to realize that the malice doesn't lie with the people, it lies with the system. The shift to circular economy is a systemic change that involves and benefits everyone. It's highly compatible with other environmental movements, like the shift towards renewable energy, protecting indigenous land, decoupling growth and emissions, creating a service-based economy, and slowing down climate change. And when we work together, the utopia may be closer than we think. Thank you.